What's going on, guys? Game 5, finally, I had to re-record this because yesterday it was kind of stalling a lot, so bear with me as I kind of go through what was going through my head on the draft and then for part of the early game when I watched it.
Cluster.
So,
from both sides, going into game 5, T1 the edge being on
obviously,
both sides,
you know, Yone will be a priority, right? Like, you have to think about it. BDD has absolutely blasted them every game with it, so even the game they lost, like, BDD was a force. So 3 out of 3 games, like, rough. We're probably gonna get, you know, some normal bans, like Azir is always banned versus Fakery won in the first game, even though, again, BDD Yone was good, like, Faker was able to actually provide enough and do well enough on that pick. Cool. His Nas is not so great. You know, once Faker was like moving off these other picks, impact dropped. They banned Jax, which is like a huge telltale sign that like we're gonna first pick Yone. And Ziggs is up, but you can play other champions into Ziggs, and I don't think Guma's Ziggs has really been that crazy. So they take the chance on saying, you know what? We'll see what you do. Are you actually going to pick it away from us? And of course, obviously you think, well, Faker is probably not that good on it, but Zeus plays it, right? So the first thing in your head should be, this is probably a fake flex, right? Like, this is most likely a fake flex, and it's going to go top. And so we're going to pick our top mid on 4-5. We're going to delay top mid till 4-5. And so for power picks, it's like the most obvious thing you could take is like Sejuani. But the thing is, if you take Sejuani, they're 100% going to go Lilia. And going Lilia is really annoying, right? Because they need an AP jungler if they're going to play like Yone, most likely. Like Yone in an 80 mid or whatever, right? Like most likely you're going to need Lilia. And Lilia is good into Sejuani. So it could be like, okay, well, what if we take Lilia, right? Okay, but if we take Lilia, what else are we going to take with it? And you should take Renekton, because Renekton can win versus Yone in mid or top. Like, it actually matches the flex, and you can hold that till 5 pick, and then work it out from there, and then just build the rest of your draft, right? And you'll take some, like, strong blind AD to, like, or maybe, like, they pick AD, right? But, like, you'll take some strong blind AD, or whatever the case is, at 3, and go from there.
Has not looked even close to any of the other free seats that were
the way KT's gonna build this out is they're gonna go with the Sejuani version. Okay, so we go with the Sejuani version. They were thinking about MF, because, like, you know, they've been winning on MF with Deft, but it's been alright.
There's still good options for Ono on the other side. Lydia by Skarner, all available. Question is, what did KT want to pair this with?
Is it Tristana?
They take, what was it?
Getting BDD a powerful pick, I think, is huge.
You know, the only other thing he's played so far has been Corki.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, so they take their blind AD, okay?
We'll see if they feel okay.
And so they're going the route of, like, okay, we're gonna save, like, you know, our solos for later. And then for T1, it's like, okay, well, we don't necessarily want to break this flex in the 2-3. The Lilia was super obvious, right? And they take Jhin. Okay, so they took their answer 80 and then they took Lilia, hold the flex. Cool, right? These guys, they take Camille. Now here's the thing. And also let me quickly open Epic Pen, since it's always easier to highlight this stuff, right? You took Camille here at the 3, but Yone beats her. Like, Yone will beat Camille inside, and now you, like, it's just, isn't that just so terrible? Like, yes, Camille can beat Yone, depending, but I've seen a lot of times Yone will just out DPS her, and it is what it is, you know? And you took this matchup knowing it's going to be rough, and you also know during this entire series, Perfect has been not the guy to be put in the lead role. Like, he needs to just, like, handle the lane in an easy manner. And yeah, like, Renekton is definitely an easier champion to handle Yone compared to Camille. And that, like, that has worked out for them. But the games where it's like much more dire, it's bad. Like, he does really bad. So already, based on the series and everything, I don't like this. This is like okay. I mean, like this champion has been performing for them in the series. This, again, I kind of prefer doing like the Lilia or something versus this, but this is okay. You know, like this is like okay, but this is not good.
They will secure confident play here from Perfect. Energize and Sejuani has that set up for the team.
And in the first couple of games, sometimes by his own fault, sometimes just by the way.
So they banned Bard, and keep in mind, to me, what would have made the most sense, so they're gonna ban supports. And even though Kyria is good, right? Like he provides a lot of like impact and things like that. I personally would let him have those picks, trust in Barrel, and ban the mids. Like ban any 80 mid you can think of, because like if Faker plays Yone mid, I think we're happy. You know, we're also gonna probably play an AP mid no matter what. So just ban for whatever works best there. And if they do Yone mid and they counterpick top, so be it. You know? So it's like, what are they counterpicking Camille with? Jax is already banned. You're gonna play Jace? What are you gonna play? Like Kalista top? Cassante? Renekton? Like you could do 1-in-1 bans too if you really want to. Like I just feel like banning supports, to them, it feels like a guaranteed reduction of impact versus like risking it on the flex that could like go elsewhere. But again, to me, I feel like this is a fake flex. And I feel like they should have called it. They should have called the bluff. So they banned one top laner, right? And so like ban Bard, ban Gwen. Personally, I don't give a shit about Gwen. I guess I got really spooked by a Gwen pick. I don't think I really care about Gwen at all.
Leona here. Could leave it open. Most likely KT's going to pick it up, and then we will have... And also go for Yasuo. That's also fun. We've seen that happen a lot as well, and being okay with the Leona going over. I do still really love taking the Leona so that the MF gets to ult, but...
This is dangerous. I mean, we do often see the late swap on the series.
And so they took the Alistar, and...
Always feels a little bit cautious. I feel like there's a little bit of support in the league who would go, well, I just pick Leona, that's the matchup, but Keria is always one who's...
Personally, I feel like I would have just taken Leona.
It looks like we might be getting the flex.
I think I would have just taken Leona if I were them. And so naturally they take Corki. You know, like they take Corki, and Corki performs on this patch. Corki performs pretty well into a lot of AP mids. So, like if he was playing Yone into LeBlanc, it's bad. Like it's actually bad. It's not a fun matchup at all for Yone. But Corki, it's okay. And Corki can play into a lot of the mages. And this is another thing they should have thought about. Like, what 80 mid performs versus your pool that you need to play here? And Talia is actually not the worst idea in the end of the day. Like that, this is probably the favored pick versus like LeBlanc, looking at these champions. But they do go LeBlanc. But like this ban would have been so nice. Like get rid of Corki. You want to play Trist? Be my guest. Like there's actually a lot of AP mids that, okay, I wouldn't say a lot of AP mids, but there's definitely a decent set of AP mids that can win versus Trist. And of course they could have just banned Trist Corki. And what the hell does he have after that? Like he has to play Yone mid. Like he must play Yone mid. And that way you're gonna have a support pick open up, like the Rel maybe, unless they're gonna ban LeBlanc. But then, like I said, you're gonna have a better matchup into Yone. Like then you can open up into like an Orianna. So I don't know. To me, I think this decision, and then even in the 4-5 decisions, it just got bad. It just got muddy. And so he takes LeBlanc, and it's like, okay. So we have LeBlanc.
Extremely hype right now, and I think it's justified. I love the confidence in a game 5.
And so we load into this game. And keep in mind, KT has lane swapped several times, and it's been terrible. Really bad. Like, okay, I wouldn't say really bad, but like it's definitely been bad and not really netted them much advantage. And even in cases where it would have, they fumbled it. So one of the advantages of lane swapping when you have Camille is the fact that she will have a lot of pressure on mid because of hookshot. Like, that's like a clear thing. Alistar needs to hit level 2 and he needs to soak XP. That's a guarantee. Sejuani is going to start Wolves. We have no scouting wards. We have 1 ward in case they actually invaded, which they could have, but it's pretty unlikely.
Outside of the core gate, though, I actually like T1 composition. There's so much long range.
So he goes in, Chunk,
Do a little bit of harass coming in there, but Keria is here.
and then they just start
Break a little
smacking
bit
this
back,
guy.
Perfect. And actually, decent
And
amount
then
more than just a
BDD
little bit.
starts getting
Ignite
smacked.
down here as well. Keria really bullying both of them in the mid
And now they
lane.
both
Really
lost,
using the shield as
like,
daybreak
over
to
half their
essentially
HP.
say, you will not stay here.
This would be the
And it's
perfect
so
time to
bad.
show them those graphics
Like,
where
it's
you
actually
damage
so
build
bad for him it
very
turned out this
play.
way. So these guys won the 2v2. Okay, the Sejuani's pathing up,
There it is. Well, Keria's trying to get play, but it's still long. BDD was very
and the
ready.
Yone went bot.
You know, I think
Like, this time, like, Zeus is just bot lane.
sometimes game 5 will reaction has to go away. I think BD's reactions
And
are
then
pretty
once he
on point.
sees,
I
like-
told you that before we saw that.
Once he sees the support leave, which is like, obviously he could still be top,
I think
but for him, he knows Lilia went top as well, so he feels safe collecting it, so now he's on the wave. And now Camille is against Jhin, which is like, not exactly what you want, but she needs to collect the wave first.
Right from the get-go, you can even see Agumeshu immediately running to mid. Right? He's not wanting to take
So she's collecting, she's getting XP, gets the cleanse, TP's top, misses the cannon, which is actually like kind of a
really big improvement.
kind of bad. Like, it would have been way better if he actually could be on time to get all this too. Then Camille actually would be ahead compared to the Yone. And this turns out not half bad. Like, despite the errors that occurred, this turned out better than expected. And you have to wonder, like, what advantage could they have gone from this in the end? Because if Alistar is leaving here this way, like, he probably needs to base and recover bot. Because mid is screwed. And Leo could go bot, and they can 3v1 dive the Camille. And no one's there to protect her. Like, all Keria has to do is he hits level 2. He just needs to walk in and see what if these camps are up and Alistar showed top. This means Sejuani went up here, and either Camille's running top, which is going to be terrible because it doesn't really do anything. She's going to have to run bot. You 3v1 diver. And yes, like, this guy dips, and in theory, you should stay here, like, TP for this. But at this point, because of what happened to Perfect, because he had to base, I think it's actually best to just smack bot lane. Because they will get, like, because, you know, if top lane's not hitting this, support's not hitting this, they're not going to get, like, anything on top side. Like, I don't think they're even going to get a plate. Maybe one, at like 0 to 1 at most. Down here, they can get 2 to 3 plates while zoning. And yeah, like, it's really good. And like I said, if this wave bounces, like, Camille's gonna play on the bounce, then Yone just TPs and everything's fine. Like, nothing, like, there's no change. So I think that's the alteration that T1 needs to make. Because she's running it, and like I said, he TPs, but right now they have a clear advantage on bot side, and he also sees that the blue is up, and it's like, oh my god. They didn't notice. They didn't know. So because of that, now Camille can actually get a huge advantage. But Perfect blunders it. So even though Perfect, like, you know, he gets the cleanse, and that's cool, he should have just backed away and TP'd like normal. And like I said, he would have been up so much more XP.
Against T1 just earlier this week, a couple days ago, and BD's like, I can play that too, and his confidence skyrocketing. It's definitely something that can, you know, kind of live or die based on how you're feeling. Taker's a lot of trouble comes in, and Taker's just not a problem. So we find him sitting here in CS, and BD does not have the range actually to do.
See, this trade, it's really nice that he could get this. Actually, he saved his TP too, which is, like, pretty killer. And so I doubt he can hold the freeze. He could try.
Yeah, didn't really have the cooldown.
He would need a lot of damage for it. But he has TP as well. Looks like he held it.
Hitbox Corki just past the minion. Taker thought he was behind, but just showing the dangers of this lane. And this is a level 5 LeBlanc.
Zeus is getting really good trades on him. So it looks like BDD is still outperforming, despite, you know, the trade that happened on mid because of Perfect. He's actually winning out. Then these guys gank him, couldn't escape. You know, he tried to be like play cute Zeus, didn't work. Okay. Thing is, you use these CDs, and now their Lilia gets to get the grubs, which is like rough. Because if the game is even, like top, mid, bot are even, and your Lilia is just getting the head, you're gonna win. Like, the LeBlanc needs to get kills, the LeBlanc needs to snowball, and it's just not the best of situations. So Sejuani's pathing up, and we're gonna have Camille R again, and he doesn't have flash, so that's gonna be like your main focus at this point. Bot lane's just doing their best to just not die, but unfortunately, these guys are kind of out-trading them, which is pretty rough. Now, this situation, like, they have Sejuani.
He is pretty low, but he's got Sejuani with him. He's got that shield,
And because Lily is here, if Perfect did get hit by that, he's just dead. So that had a lot of risk. And their damage was pretty low in the end for this situation, because he has E, so he can kind of dodge the Sejuani, so he's like kind of trying to stall it out. And because Lilia shows, like, he just doesn't want to get hit by it. Because if he gets hit by it, he's going to get slept and he's going to get killed. Now we have Barrel brought into this situation. And this guy is still taking pressure and is still ahead because he's just winning trades versus Perfect. So even though Perfect had an advantage in a sense from the lane swap, he is losing. While also getting more attention. Now, I'm just gonna say right now, this is already good enough for them. Like, Perfect wants to go back to the wave anyways. So, moving in at first, this is okay. You know, this is okay. And once they get this, just go back to the wave. This is it. You're done. Let them have it. They won 4 grubs, so you're 2. Who cares? You did everything you need to do. Then you could go back and do the Raptors, or you could go this way. And if you think his top bot camps are up, which they are, I can't remember if they like will track this correctly to know this is up. But if they know this is up, then they can go down this way and contest it. And Lilia will have to answer. She will always have to answer this. And then MF should already start heading bot to contest this, and so you're gonna get first mid push based on the priorities. First mid push, head bot, and press in and contest this if you really want to. And that's pretty good. You know, that's pretty good. But they go for the other grub for some odd reason, which does not matter. And then fucking Barrel jumps in, and it's like, well, that's bad. Then Faker is getting BDD is fighting Faker. But unfortunately, BDD gets hit by this. Zeus recognizes it.
And now we've got Zeus caught in the pit amongst 4 of them. Is gonna dash away as Guma finally makes his way over. Carrier gonna be caught by.
And they do win it. Actually, that's kind of surprising they won this, because to me, this does not look good.
It goes over to Owner, and now Barrel's gonna go in looking for something.
I don't think he needs to press R right away either, because these guys are kind of just pushed out, fake, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. That's it. That's the play.
People that are going to be slept up, but BDD finds Faker trying to bait as well. And that's
oh, you know what? This is pretty bad though. If you watch how this plays out, What happens if Keria can get his R off on BDD? He's dead. Like, he's actually dead. If BDD falls, then they're gonna run up and fight off MF. Corki then should be allocating his time. Like, fuck this shit. Corki should not care about this. He should just go here and fight into these guys at this point. Also, it would have been nice if the Jin R was like more this way, but because he's like not hitting, like he's just like looking at this. He actually could be moving up here and like throwing shit at these guys already. Lily is probably dead no matter what, unless she can flash. I mean, she could have technically flashed and like bought some time. There's his Q. So he used his Q at 11:08. At 11:08. So his Q probably has another like 5 seconds. Actually, did he just do it again? Hold on. Okay, so 11:08. No, that was not him. That was Seju. Okay. So you still need a little bit of time, per se. But I think he actually could have dodged something if he just used his splash. But yeah, I think BDD is definitely dead. And then Deft gets played on. And Faker doesn't... And then, like, they didn't have to create this fight either. Like, right? Like, KT goes for the extra grub, which, again, I don't think is necessary. But T1 also doesn't have to press into this as much as they did. Like, Faker did it because they're saying the fight, I assume. Because look, this guy goes in, and then after that, it's like, you don't need to do anything, right? Like, you could go for the Jin W and just see how that works, and then play off that. But like, Faker runs in and then eats shit, so he's forced out. And the MFR was good. The MFR was definitely good. But also Zeus could just... You don't have to go on BDD either, because BDD just used his spells. The person who's dangerous is the MF. Yeah, it's definitely the MF. Also, Zeus could have used his flash. It's a little ballsy to use your flash that way, but like, because of where everyone is and they're getting slept, if Deft gets hit off a Q and starts getting ran down, he's just gone. And these guys have to like decide, like, are we just gonna kill Owner? And then that's our play, but like our other guys are just absolutely screwed too. Yeah, I don't think this is as one-sided as it looks. I think T1 they just kind of flubbed it. Like, this is kind of like, yeah, they just screwed it up. I think they could have done way better in that fight.
For KT, obviously, another dance would be something that, when you say it in hindsight would make sense, but if you said it right after they lost, actually, no, right after they lost, probably would be most likely.
We'll see KT Worlds, right?
Okay, but how much of that was a joke sell this? Actually, I was never doubt that.
Now we got Zeus. Very serious and he gets sealed off, and really good timing, right? The cross comes in as well, so now it's not quite very well, outside.
Yeah, good luck from there to avoid the Zeronial. You can set that, but they should use it navigating that. Right now, he gets threatened. Yeah, so I'm not sold that one. And let's get these bad rate to Faker. Now, the kill the block is big, but I feel like this pick really needs to be one against the wall rolling 4KT. How to lead the difference is massive now.
Oh, perfect. Well, then let's go down to his turret.
Yeah, I mean, Perfect's just gonna stick around. He's trying to kill him.
This is interesting. This is actually pretty interesting. So if you notice how this map's being played, so again, T1 likes spreading like their numbers thin, right? LeBlanc got chunked out. Like, keep in mind, this LeBlanc got chunked out to a Corki who has whatever items. Like, that's just how this champion works. It's really stupid. So the Leo goes bot, give cover to the Yone and let the Yone push up, right? The Yone also just had Sejuani make a play on him, so like, yeah, like, rough. But they're already sending this here. Meanwhile, what's happening top lane is the MF was solo, and I assume they knew Barrel's tempo, right? So they know he has to go top because MF is alone. Like, he must go top. So Leo decides to go the opposite way. Kyria goes the opposite way in anticipation that the Lilia will pull Alistar top. And it looks like Deft had to use his flash as well. Okay, and Jin used R. So, like, Juma's doing a good job of forcing Deft to be scared as well. So then Leo goes bot. Obviously, he shows on a ward in the end, but he goes bot, and now it's 2v1 bot. Okay, LeBlanc has TP, so I guess she's gonna TP flank, right? They take this turret. And at this point, he should just go on perfect. I don't know why he's going on BDD. Like, Kyria is like definitely just inting this. Because if you look at this, it's like, he's in your face. He has flash, but you're also TPing here. And he has Q3. So it makes most sense to just jump into him and DPS him, make him like force the flash away. And then BDD is going to try to make a play on you. And then that's just how it is, right? But he forces it onto BDD, and it's just... Yeah. Yeah. So they misplayed again, but that was actually like an advantage situation for T1. And matching TP for TP would have probably saved Zeus. And if LeBlanc enters into that fight, they lose. Like KT like LeBlanc probably dies. Like if she just jumps in. Oh, such a dumb idea by him. So KT's trying to slow down the Yone, but the thing that just sucks about this game is just you keep thinking to yourself, oh god, like Yone and Corki are just getting bigger and bigger. Like, how are we gonna deal with this? And so we go with a fight like this, and so Corki, like LeBlanc's on this wave, right? Yone just shoved this out. Corki should be mid. Also, the top wave is coming in, right? Corki doesn't have TP. Dragon's not for 4 minutes. This is fine. Like, this lane assignment is fine. Yeah, like, Yone doesn't necessarily want to play into LeBlanc. It's not exactly favored for him in that sense. And Corki, like, yeah, into Camille, it's not necessarily the best. Herald's gone already. They have it. I guess the lane assignments, it's just choosing where you want to play in the end. It's an open lane. Yone is better in an open lane than Corki. But he doesn't have flash. Corki does have flash. You have TP on Yone, the assist. I think you just leave. I think it is what it is, and you just, like, you know, you just go the 2 minutes because he can match him, and if Corki's running top, he's gonna get this wave, and then Yone is chilling here for a little bit, right? And you guys are already on the map. Yeah, I think you have to do it this way, personally.
Alongside of it.
Because sending Corki bot and then basing the Yone
doesn't really show us what's going on. Perfect's in the top lane.
You're gonna drop the top wave. You can't TP the Yone top because like losing your TP advantage just sounds dreadful, right? So now Corki's just kind of wasting time bot, and he should have went mid. Like at this point, he probably should have just went mid and boosted this. And then they would have a more clear, like, collapse on Camille. But now Camille's actually cheating this wave. And it's like, okay, that's not good. Now that MF took a base because she saw people shift up, it's like, okay, that doesn't feel the best. And now T1's like, okay, let's force pushing this now. But the Corki's not involved in this play. And since the lane is open bot lane for KT, LeBlanc can drop the wave for a bit because it's gonna be a little bit till it hits the tier 2. So she gets a play to make in top side. And KT recognizes it. They recognize it, they go in. You have everyone shifting for this situation, and now Faker has to push bot. He must push bot, but here's the thing. Does he live? Oh! So the only thing is, if Camille cannot die, then she can TP bot, and then LeBlanc TP will come up, and they'll be fine again on the map, right?
Just trying to throw himself into it and bait them into this fight. As Ingo goes perfect, keeps Zeus around, but he dodges. That Sejuani ultimate lines up too.
Oh.
Play here, but got high value into the opponents. Leona is.
I'm just trying to see. Was it too early?
You see T1 trying to make an aggressive play here, but there's a lot of KT members in return.
Barrel just trying to throw himself into it and bait them into this fight. As Ingo's perfect, keeps Zeus around.
This guy could out-start combo right now with Flash. The only thing that sucks is that Jin is first. I think this is the only thing they have to consider, is that Jin is first. And I don't think Camille can just go in right away. And I think Camille should try to freeze the wave. To like entice them just a little bit more, make them trade just a little bit more. I think that's your best avenue towards making this play work. Otherwise, it looks like it's not going to happen, because when he goes in,
Trying to throw himself.
he could W. I mean, he could just W the Yone. And these guys will start slow approaching, and then R his target. But still, it's like, LeBlanc is kind of far out.
He's still alive, but down he goes. Trade of top laners as now BDD is coming up. Trying to punish Carrier here, and it looks like T1 are just gonna let it go. That's another kill. Okay, BDD LeBlanc is now 3-0. Running. And skipping and hopping, and it's definitely meanwhile, Victor's taking the turret.
Yeah, I don't know. Oof, almost killed him. It's not the worst, but like, the only thing, man, the only problem I have with that play is just that Jin was moving up first, the MF is late. Yes, LeBlanc is slow moving for this play, so it's a little small gamble. I feel like they may like, once they Sejuar, maybe they could actually like try to like flash and get in there a little bit sooner, so like the Camille is not taking so much damage, like this, the Yone is not able to get his R off. But it looks like they didn't want to commit those sums in the end. But I mean, I also use this flash anyways, right? Like flash WQ, it's doable. It's actually so doable. And obviously Leo's gonna throw R, she's gonna stun and everything, but he also could, I mean, he also could have just comboed these guys, low key. He's probably still dead though. Either way, it looks like Barrel played that really badly. I think there's a lot of I think there's fine tuning to that play, but I get what KT was looking for. It just didn't line up as much as you wanted to. I mean, traded 1-for-1, and you know, the thing about Zeus in this game is like they're putting so much focus on killing Zeus, but they're using Corki TP, but they have Yone TP still. Dragon's in 23 seconds. Yone can catch top wave. It's fine. The thing about Zeus in this game is that he's taking so much pressure. He's getting so many people to come to his lane and fight. Yeah, it was a bit inty. It is what it is. That Faker is just farming up and just eating good. Like, he ate 2 turrets now. 2 turrets. That's really good. Like, he's at 2 items, 20 minutes. Still powering up. He's gonna blast people, especially if the CS levels are low for like perfect. Like perfect is not gonna be nearly as threatening to the backline, and it's not like he has a billion kills either. So at this point, it's looking pretty rough. And you notice, like, look in this like 1v1. It's like when he gets in, it's like, what does Camille do? Like if Camille goes in, she's walking like Q, auto, Q2, and it's like you're gonna die. Like, this guy has lifesteal as well. Like, you can't win. So now we're pulling LeBlanc into bot side. They have double TP, so like if they have to literally TP into this situation. Faker doesn't do enough damage yet to like threaten LeBlanc back. Is really the question. They'd have to go very deep to try to get Faker. And so while they get Faker's flash, cool, whatever. You know, they're just getting pulled around the map, and they're 2-8. Like, they're the team who's 2-8, and yet it feels so dire for KT. The Blanc is 3-0. The MF has been absolutely useless, by the way. Like, the blind pick MF has just felt like, who cares? Mobile targets and but he does walk fast. But he does walk fast. And he does walk fast, but he also has access to the grid. And he has 1 top 3. I love Faker's entire game. He took some trades with BD, yes, he did interact a little bit, but after that he was like, I'm just going to push. We've seen so many poker games in his long lost streak where the is so bad on challenge, what's he going to do, and then he just lose. Probably would not have gone that item if I was LeBlanc. I feel like I definitely would have highly preferred... I feel like I would highly prefer if I was LeBlanc just getting... It's 14-16. I mean, he was already snowballing a reasonable amount, and he needs to do big damage. I wonder how doable decap second is in this game. I wonder how doable that is. He also could have just gone Banshees, and Banshees would have been pretty good against Leo and Lilia. Even against Corki, it's pretty good.
In a fight when BDD is around, though.
So again, KT are now like trying to pinpoint like, okay, we're gonna like Camille's bot. We're gonna play on the, you know, lane we can use TP on. But again, the Jhin has first push as always. Okay, so Jhin has first push. She's moving first. We need to get the fuck out of here. Now we're forced to use TP, and it's like, oh my god, it just feels so bad because in your head you're just like, Zeus is committing the TP, and they can as well because they have Faker TP, so they're always in a good spot. Like, it's not too common for KT. KT had one moment where they had both TPs up, and they had to burn it because they were looking for a 2v1 play on bot, and so they had to burn it top with that situation where Faker lost his flash. But that kind of sucks, and now, like, you know, since T1 has this, now they're like, okay, we're gonna go for this TP play. So Camille feels like she has the TP, or else, like, Dion would just go in, you know? Like, Dion would just go in. Because they have all these people. But right now, like, he doesn't necessarily want to because Camille's coming. Okay.
But, yeah, Zeus gonna have to unbound out of that one. And KT thinking about it. Thinking about the engage.
He has the flash. MFR isn't too bad. And they successfully route them. But here's the thing. Is this really going to turn into something? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What? Holy shit. See, to me, I feel like you wouldn't go for the sleep because it's like, that's it, right? Like, the play's dead. We're done. But he hits one. And at this point, Alistar doesn't need to keep walking this way. Alistar can walk left, and he can look to, like, punish people, right? Because, like, he doesn't, like, just standing on top of Camille doesn't do anything. Like, you have also your Sejuani on top of him, so you're already fine, right? So, like, I don't, like, so he goes in, but, like, it's too late to cancel this. So Beryl kind of fucked this up, right? Like, like I said, when you're in this position and like you start sleeping, just like walk this way. Because you already have this guy. You have one tank and you have a second tank. So this tank can cover this zone, he can cover this zone, right? Cool. Because by walking this far, he recognizes this, he goes for it. And it's like, because of the way it was done, it put him ahead of Alistar, I guess. So his R didn't get cut short here. It went all the way through, right? And, well, that's also because of the last enemy's here. Ignore me. Ignore me as I explain mechanics, which is not 100% true, right? But they all get caught. And then he feels like he needs to press his R button right away. But even still, it was not, it's like, he doesn't have to do that. Because the MF is going to hit him. Like, the MF will start hitting him, and then while these guys are pushing this way, BDD is still here to pressure. So now Perfect makes a blunder, and then they feel like they need to go back in, which is not true, by the way. They do not need to go back in. And it baits them. They all bait themselves to go help Perfect, and then they die. And now T1, who has been just like steadily winning in side lane and outperforming on the map, gets the Baron. And that seals the fate. Like, it's gonna be so hard for KT to come back into this game when their LeBlanc has Horizon Focus, which is just like a very whatever item for like how strong he needs to be. And the Corki is hard chilling. The Yone is doing super well. And our Camille is going Sterix. And it's like, that's not going to do anything. So now we're depending on our MF to win the game. And I'm not a believer. Now the Corki just needs Infinity Edge. He just needs Infinity Edge and he's gonna blast everyone to Kingdom Come.
You see, he tries to how it's so low, but just being the again. And now we're 2 away from the next Baron, and this is very difficult because on the side 2 everyone splashes, so something like easy capitalize on. Can be able to catch him on the standing gold. We have BDD with 2 rods in the infantry with no Rabadons. Ideally, he gets that before we go towards the objectives, but I don't know if it's going to time. KT uses problem solving the next couple minutes, because if T1 gets the next Baron, I want the game's trouble.
Yeah, as you say, you have to be proactive. You can't just sit back.
I don't know.
T1 set up and essentially control defense, especially with the lead that they have. So
I don't know.
that's enough, but for now they're going to step back.
Luna is up to
Yeah, look at the items he has as well. So he has IE, goes really well with the range, but I can also shield bow, so he's going to
This is so hard. Even if the Camille's only down 20 CS at this point, it's just 3 item Yone. Like, I literally don't know what he's supposed to do. Now the LeBlanc is finally getting decap. Finally. But like, I think with the lead he had and everything, he needed to just rush it sooner. So he could just blast someone. He has it now, which is great. Like, fantastic. But it just feels a little too late. I mean, it is what it is, you know, like, they're steadily losing control for KT's side. I know I haven't been talking as much, so I'm just trying to figure out, like, how are they going to do this? And it's just... this is not much. I mean, like, they need a solid, like, flank, but they don't have side control. Like, they have no side control, so they just get poked, steadily ran on, and their comp is terrible at just, like, playing this way. So, like, you lost the side situation, and like I said, your comp is worse at that anyways. That's it. That's it. That's the game. They literally, that was the game.
It goes to the last game possible, the last chance to get into Worlds for the reigning champs.
The fuck was that? What was that hug? That is weird. Anyways, I mean, it's very obvious who the MVP is. It's Zeus. I mean, like, this guy just provided so much pressure. It was easily him. Worst player of the game. Oh God. It's perfect. This guy was really not good. And also, you know what, to his small, I mean, Barrel was okay in some of his engagements. To be honest, actually, he wasn't half bad. But, like, it was also not the greatest either. So I'm gonna put Barrel kinda. And Kyria had a really good game too. You know, actually, I'm gonna just say bot lane. I think bot lane in general did pretty damn good in this game. And for like the series, you know, if I find anyone to be like, who's like the MVP of the series? The most valuable player of the series. I mean, Zeus had 2 games that were just... I mean, every time he got into a position, like his Jax game, this game, and... shit, there was one other. I think it was actually just predominantly he had 2 games that were just very dominated and made the game pretty unplayable. The thing is, if I look across the series, it would tell me that BDD was actually the MVP, only because, for one, you know, his 3 Yone games were immaculate. So that's already like over half the games, right? His LeBlanc game was great. Like, he did very well on it. And it's not really his fault that, like, other positions just kind of fell through in the end. And, you know, despite, you know, Perfect not being exactly like great, like, the fact that KT's going to 5 games with him playing, like, is most likely because of this guy. Like, most likely because of this guy, you know? And Yeah, it probably is just him, honestly. It really is. And that sucks. That sucks for him because he's on the losing side. But I would say that he is the MVP of the series. If it's not him, then honestly, oof. Honestly, it might be him. Like I know Zeus had like again, Zeus had some pretty good games, but he also had some stuff where he just fucking hardened it. Like the Camille game, he had advantage. They won, but like he was kind of inting it up on that champion inside. But Keria, this guy was kind of a menace as well. So these are my 2 selections. And I mean, I don't really need to put the worst player of the series, but it's for sure perfect. Like it is what it is. You know, he's a rookie. He's a rookie, and he just does not know enough about the game. So, and I would say the lane swaps. Honestly, the lane swaps were so bad. They're so bad for KT. So, congratulations to T1 for making Worlds. Honestly, if they, especially with like how 14-18 is looking, it's probably going to be a upside patch for T1 overall. This will get interesting because they are definitely one of the better teams with just like abusing the map and like their strength of how like good people are at. I guess they're really good at dividing their resources on the map and making those reads. It's something G2 can do, and it's very obnoxious. Like, cause like a lot of teams like are good at like team fighting, right, and just moving around normally, but these guys would do things differently, and it kind of gets, yeah, it gets rough. So cool, not a bad qualifications, I would say. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but KT were making some horrendous mistakes. So thanks for watching, guys.